Hey, fam. Hey, Everly. Is the light? Can we turn the light on? I think it's a little dark. Thanks for joining us. Tribe! Yes! Oh my gosh, we've been working on the tribe. Oh, so much happens today. It's so good. I'm sorry?
I said now I'm going to have to get on.
Mama E is gonna come on. Got Aaron in the house. Thanks for joining us, family. Welcome. I saved a turtle on the road today. Dude, that's awesome. Wow, you saved a life today. Hey, Demetrius' mom. Thanks for joining us. So glad that you're here. I'm Rue. I'm here with the fam. Then it bit me. Oh, well. Sorry. That sucks. Hey, welcome. Oh, I'm so excited. You know what? I'm going to have you decide. There's some interesting energies that have been coming in, and so we're going to talk about, like, really, dude? Yeah, that's a bummer. So Aaron's going to join. It's looking like. We're going to have a chat here, and you all, like, talk with us, because today I didn't even know what to talk about. Just some stuff happened. We've been, Aaron and I are working on some projects with the family and how we're building it, and so there's some really exciting things happening with that. So just in regards to the structure, the website, all this stuff that her and I are not experts at. We're not experts at building websites and things. Question: would you rather have 100 pennies or 4 quarters regarding friends? I'd rather have 4 quarters. I have 1 quarter right here. So in regards to friends, yeah, it's that we're going to kind of feed off of last night, actually, I think, because I was thinking about it, and a lot about flow and being that magnet. And a lot of what Aaron teaches is about having your magnetic presence and standing up for what you believe in. And we have so many stories. And so a lot of today was spent, why not both? You can have both. Absolutely. It's like pennies, quarters, but then, it's like, then we're placing a value. You like her? Good. Because she's right there. Hey. Hey, good morning. Where are you from?
Hey. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes, what time is it?
I have no idea. Yeah, what time is it where you're at? We're so excited. We're going to be doing a lot of traveling this year. Overly saved a turtle today.
You saved a turtle? Well, that's loving.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's
it bit him.
Oh. Well, you probably scared it. It probably didn't realize you were saving it.
Right.
Right, that's what she just said. Yeah, I'm sorry it bit you, but I'm sure it only bit you out of love.
Mumbai. Ooh,
all right,
sweet.
So I'm trying to be on here, but I'm also like talking to an old friend that just totally hit me up. So we're talking about family and tribe, like out of the blue, old friend. Yeah, so I was just trying to be responsive in a nice way because I was excited. Tribe. Yeah.
Everybody gets the tribism. And,
right.
And it's finding the right people and energy. So
What was the title of tonight?
It's sex, relationships, communication, or sex, relationship, partnerships, and communication. And so, nice scarf. Thank you. Oh, you should say thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're...
Well, I'm going to tell him I'm speaking on a... he's calling me.
You can, we can talk.
Okay, you talk. I'll be right back.
So,
Hey, friends.
So a lot of what came up today is not only things that we're doing with the family, and so we're building this partnership. So there's multiple streams of income that we're building, and many businesses that we're building. And so, so there's a partnership, and then we're talking about relationships. So every person, either the quarters or the pennies, you're having a relationship with those people. And so how do you read that energy? And so I'm really not grounded right now. So let me gather my thoughts. So it's about communication and being clear. And clarity equals power. And so the problem that I see in this world is that a lot of the miscommunication, a lot of the frustration, a lot of the anger, a lot of what doesn't make sense happens because we're very vague. We're very general. We talk about generalities, right? So, for example, when we talk about generalities, we tend to make assumptions about what is happening in this situation. So specifically, yesterday, we were working on some, I'm just going to be completely vulnerable and put everything on the table so you kind of see where this is coming from. So with the family that we're building the platform, what happened was that, right, okay, cool. So what happened was that we were working on some things, working on some content, and we all have different personalities. And so Erin is very good at being the visionary and seeing the big picture. And she's really great at letting us know like how we want it to look. And then we have Alex, who's really good. Yeah, she is, right? And Alex, he's really good at like seeing it, making it concise, making like, he's really great at marketing. He's really great at reaching the masses is what he's really good at. And so, and you'll see a little bit more of that. He's very he's very charismatic. So when he sees when he sees the content, then he's able to take it and be like, okay, well, we need to take this out. We need to take this out. We need to take this out. Oh, that's great. Like, have we considered doing this? And so he's really great at understanding what the market wants or what people want and what they want to hear. And so he has his ideas about that. Hey, Steve, welcome. And then what I'm good at is I'm good at seeing how I see things is I see everything, and I start, if you imagine like a computer screen, I'll see the entire situation and I'll see all the different parts. And so and then when I see all the different parts, then I'll see the different, where they need to go and what needs to happen in order to execute. So I'm really good at sequencing things. So what happened was, and I'm also really good at connecting. So I'm kind of like a magnet for people. So what happened was that we were working on content. Erin had created something that we needed to do. So we're looking for more cast members. We're looking for people who have something to share and say things differently. I feel like I can do all three. Yeah, and we essentially all can. And yeah, I can do all three. I can be a visionary. And so it's, each one of us has gifts and abilities, and we can all do it all. The thing about it is that, are we most efficient in that? What is your preference? What do you want to really do and focus on? And so, especially when you're wanting to do something big, right? And here's what I can do it all. I can be the visionary and bipolar in all areas. Just what got here, what are you talking about? We're talking about communication and clarity. And so I'm just using an example of when we speak in generalities, when we're being vague with our communication and say, oh my God, and so this is kind of where I'm building it up to, is we had a situation where Erin had created a piece she had written a letter because we're looking for more cast members. Our goal here at the family is to create a 24-hour Periscope. So no matter what time of day, no matter what time of day, you'll have different people who are going to be talking about different things, and it's all in regards to the spiritual aspect of the world. So finding out who you really are, what you need to know about, like, we're feeling crazy, we're feeling neurotic. Maybe one of these cast members has something that can help. So like, we're looking at bringing in clinical psychologists, perpetual motion, like, yeah, absolutely. And so it's like creating, a television show, essentially, that you can communicate and ask questions and kind of tap in, and we're creating archives. So there's a whole thing that we're doing with the family, and we're really excited about it. Perpetual motion of love, absolutely. So what happened is, so she wrote a letter of kind of explaining to these people that we're talking to. So essentially we'll have, teach us how is most appropriate given the anonymous audience on Periscope. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, but it sounds really good, so thank you. Yeah, and it's definitely that love, keeping the motion of love going on, and so I'm so glad that you inputted that. And so what happened is 24 hours a day, and there's 168 hours a week, and so you'll be able to, we're revamping the website to include these different people, and it's going to grow. And so essentially we'll have all these people that you can tap into and follow and just gain information on as you're going on your journey. And so it's creating that one tribe. We're all one tribe. And so we're here sharing our resources and things that we have access to. So what happened is she writes this letter that we're going to be sending to these potential people that we're going to invite. So it's by invite only. Reach out to us. That's right, Overly, you're on it. So people that you want to reach out to or that you'd like to see, who you think would be a good fit, who add value to your life, like send us an email at info@family.link. And do like an introduction for us, because we'd love to get to know them and meet them. And there's going to be criteria and things like that. There will be an audition piece, and we'll have conversations. So that's something that we're looking for. What are the dues? There are no dues yet that we haven't figured out to be to have access to the information. We haven't thought that far. It's just everything's just been happening so quickly. So, and we can also have that conversation as we're continuing to build it. So right now, there are no dues. In the future, perhaps there may be. And so that's kind of what we're bringing. That's why it's so important to be clear with your communication. So that's, so she wrote this letter. We don't have to give SSN, do we? No, not at all. No, we don't want that information. So we just want to know who you are and what you're about. And we want to have a feeling for, are you in the vibration of love? How do you powerful sidekicks set pricing for sharing their gifts? It's market, it's, think about, it's how you value your social security number. It's, so the way that money works, especially now, the new energy of money, money is a reward for the service that is rendered. So the more people you help, essentially, the more money you make. And it's also how valuable are you to your community, to your marketplace. So for example, if we use Britney Spears, what kind of value does she have? She's one person, and she makes all this money because of her entertainment value, because our society places a high value on entertainment. Yes, she's toxic. Toxic, right? The thing about it is she is uniquely her, and there's only one of her. And yet she's servicing all these people. She's helping people feel good. She's helping people have a good time through her music. And the thing about it is, would you pay the same amount of money to see some, like a knockoff, than you would her? And is she still famous? She still is famous. She's in Vegas. She has her own, people love her. There's a huge following for her. And I grew up with Britney, and I don't know if I would pay that much money, because I don't place that much value on that. So for example, for me, I'll use what I do. And I have multiple businesses right now. Music, few people. Music moves all people. Okay, that makes sense. And it does. And when people resonate, and it's all it is marketing. You grew up with her. What was she like as a kid? That's funny. I grew up with watching her on television and listening to her on the radio, and we have some funny people on the scope. Right. So I grew up listening to her, and so I understand the kind of impact that she had on me. So the kind of impact that Britney Spears had on me was, she's really pretty, and she looks super confident, and I listened to her songs were catchy, and I could remember them, and we would dance to them. And so, or if not Britney Spears, like NSYNC or Justin Timberlake or any of these musicians, why is it that you spend so much money, like hundreds of dollars, to buy a single ticket for a couple hours, and they fill stadiums? That's a lot of money. That's millions, right? In one evening. That's hundreds of thousands. I mean, of course they're paying all these people, and so there's more to it. It does make you feel good, because she's really inspiring a lot of people. She's really moving a lot of people. So who are you moving? So you talked to, somebody asked a question about psychics. How do we place value on what we do? Well, it depends on the service. It's what people are willing to pay for. It's about being clear. and communicating exactly the kind of value that you're presenting. And so for me, for what I do, I don't even know how to explain it, and that's something that I'm working on. But I charge $250 to $500 a session, and it doesn't matter how long the session goes to, because that's how I value my time. I'm doing a lot of things, and so if somebody wants to do a one-on-one session with me, the energy of money. So everything is energy, right? And the way that people are being paid right now is many people are paid hourly. There's some people who are paid project based. And so there's an energy of money and the way that you invite energy in. So how do we say it? I help a lot of business owners, or CEOs of companies who have a new idea and need to raise capital, right? And so in raising capital, there's an energy to raising capital. There's an energy behind successful people. And the thing about it is that successful people are very clear. And so last night we talked about being a magnet and attracting into your life what you want. And so Aang, our last airbender last night, he talked about being in flow, and he had this idea, and it was like in the back of his head, and like he was just clear about his vision and these affirmations. He just had a clear intention, and then all these people, like, he started to become a magnet. He started to trust what was inside of him to attract to him. And so for the same thing with money, you don't think about the dollar bill, because when you think about the dollar bill, it's not what you're actually wanting to do. It's the way that money is going to work now is how much value can you add to others. So let me be a little bit more clear. Finding your mission and your vision in life is really helpful, because when you have a mission, you have a vision, then you have a clear knowing about who you are and how you can make an impact in the world. And by knowing that, then you can find the different avenues. Hey, Alian. Then you can find the different avenues in which you can make that impact. So I talk, part of what I talk about is about the entrepreneur. So I've had this fascination with leadership. Hey, welcome. So right now we're talking about the energy of money and clarity and successful people. And what does the energy of money mean? So before, people would place value, or actually even now, people exchange their time for money, and so how they value their time is hourly. So $10 an hour, that's how much their life is worth, is $10 an hour, $11 an hour, $14, $100. How does a person know that he has psychic abilities? How did you know? That is, how did I know? Oh, I thought this one was about relationships. It is relationships and partnerships. And so it's about communication and being clear. It started off with relationships. It started off with how, with my relationships with Aaron and Alex and me. And I was trying to go into a story, about how their miscommunication happens when we're vague and we're very general, and that also has to do a lot with money. So everything's interconnected. So let me just finish the thought about the energy of money, because that seems like what people want to hear. So so the way that it's, what I've seen, because I've been following the trends, is that it's going to be people are going to value themselves more. And so the biggest thing is to focus in on what you want to create in this life. What kind of lifestyle legacy do you want to live? And why do you want to live that way? If you had all the money in the world, money was no object, what would you be doing? And why would you be doing it? Would you be helping people? Would you be just chilling on the beach? Because there's a really good book, The 4-Hour Workweek, with Tim Ferriss. And he talks about how we can have, do, and be anything that we want to be. And he also talks about the new rich and how the new rich think. It's not this hourly, like we work 40 years and then we eventually retire, or we work for 20 years and then we eventually retire. So we're working, and then we can have what we want. See, the energy is not that. We are supposed to be living now. It's all about what's happening now. And so let's get back to the energy of money. So energy or money is the reward for service that is rendered. So when you focus on your services that you're going to provide your market, your customers, your clients, or even your boss, if you think about the service and that you're going to provide for them, and that relationship that you're going to build with the people that you're seeking exchange with, balancing the moment with plans for the future. Yeah, it can be that, absolutely. It's so when we think about what we want to create, because we have no control over the future. However, what we can do is we can think about what we want to create. So if we think about like anything I've ever wanted in life, I've had. So for example, I wanted to be president one day. I wanted to be an ambassador one day. And I want to bring nations together. So what has manifested? I am a president. I'm the president for CEO Space International in San Diego. I'm the regional president. And then I'm also an ambassador. I'm an ambassador for my people. I literally have these titles, president and ambassador. Wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to play out to be. No. Like I thought I was going to be president of the United States. And then I realized that I don't want to be president of the United States because unless something changes, there's a lot that I see in the bureaucracy. I have a political science degree, economics, finance. I've worked with governments. I've worked with non-governmental entities. And what I found is that I wanted to make a difference now. I wanted to make an impact now, but how do I do that? And so that's what I discovered. So I feel like the scope is going all over the place. So I hope you guys are getting some value from what I'm saying. A big part of who I am is remembering. And so someone asked about, how do you know about your psychic abilities? How do we know what those are? And the thing about it is everybody has an ability. If you're here on this planet, you're here to make a difference. You're here to add value to somebody, to yourself, to others. You're here to make an impact somehow. So there's a reason why you're here on this planet. You're here to do something and do something big, either big for you or big for the entire world. But there is a reason why you're here and why you're on this scope. So if you're on the scope, it's because you're meant to do something. You're meant to do something either for your family or your community. For me, I surround myself with world changers, difference makers, people who are here to make a difference in humanity. And so everything that I do revolves around that. And so when we talked about creating the future that we want, the future that I see is creating heaven on earth. And I see us being one tribe, one people, where we can literally walk into any situation, anywhere, and feel like we belong. And where we're free to express ourselves, and where we're free to innovate and create, where we can create things faster and more freely. I see a world where we're going to live forever. And so what has manifested is I'm finding the pieces of those puzzle. And I found this group where I found somebody. So I believe that we're going to have infinite life, and I'm looking for the scientist who's going to create that. And so there's a bunch of different people who have been coming into my being. So there's this seminar company that's going to help people innovate, and so I'm connected there. I also want to create, if you've seen X-Men, I'm also creating Xavier School for the gifted. So I am creating an academy for kids where we teach them creative entrepreneurship and leadership so that we can help ingrain that in our children. So that's another project. And so I'm thinking about these things, and a year ago, had you asked me this, I had no idea how that was going to happen. And I just knew that was something that I wanted to create, and that came to me, and I felt like I had to create. And so over the past year, I've been attracting all these entrepreneurs, all these CEOs, these investors, these inventors. There's all these people, and I don't know why. And they've been mentoring me and helping me build business, understand the language of business, understand the language of money, because money is important. And the reason why is because the money is the language of business. So if you don't understand the energy of money, then you don't understand you won't be successful in business. And so that's where it goes back to communication and being clear. So be clear about what you want to create. Be clear about your mission and be clear about your vision. If you don't know how to do that, then connect with us and have this conversation more and more. And so in personal relationships, what I found out is that when we're vague, when we're confused, then the other party is confused. And when we make assumptions, then all things fall apart, and then we're fighting. Do you think your angels, guides, etc. put these desires in your heart? I believe that I need to tell you a story. I believe that we are all fractals of God. I believe that God resides within me and God resides within you. And I feel like we're all mirrors of one another. So imagine us as, is it okay if I tell you this story? Because this is kind of a big story. One of my mentors shared this with me and it just really resonated. So imagine if you think about a candle. Actually, I have some candles here. If you think about a candle and if you think about a candle, if you think about a group of candles together, it's super bright. You know, none of them stands out. Candles, right? But when you have one single candle in darkness, it has an experience. And so it's a Jewish parable. And the way that it goes is this. The sun had all these candles, and he called all the candles together and said, what do you want to experience? And one of the little candles came up and said, I want to experience forgiveness. And the sun said, wow, that's such a virtuous, thing to experience. You know that somebody has to defile you and to betray you and hurt you so badly so that you can experience that? Are you sure you're ready for that? And then little candle said, yes, I would like to experience that, but who would hurt me so badly to where I can experience forgiveness? And then another candle came up and said, I will. And the other candle said, wow, you would hurt me and defile me and betray me and so badly that I could experience such a virtuous thing. And the other candle said, yes. And I will, because in one lifetime you did that for me. The thing is, I have to dim my light so low that I may forget myself and I may lose myself. And the thing about it is, our lights will be dimmed so low that we may forget. And the other candle said, I won't let you forget. And so the sun took the candles in and said, are you ready? Are you ready to have an experience? And so the sun said, are you ready to have an experience? The only caveat is, I will send you nothing but angels. And so he took the candles and sent them out into the earth and the planet to be born. And so I don't think it's the angels who are the ones who plant that seed in our heart. I believe that it is God. I believe that it is a higher power. I believe it's our higher self, and I believe it's our soul that plants that seed in our heart. And the thing about it is that it's our job to remember. And it's our job to notice the patterns that are happening within our life, to give us clues as to what is happening. Thank you. It's been a story that really hit me hard. And I have a mentor. His name is Greg Montana. I'm going to see if he can join us on Periscope and be one of our cast members, because a lot of what he has to share speaks on this. And him and his wife, Tamara Montana, and you can look them up at heartvirtues.com and send them an email and tell them I sent you. They're really dear friends of mine, and they're doing amazing work. And so they talk about the heart virtues. We have heart virtues, things that are in our heart. And so a lot of what we speak about is trusting yourself and trusting your heart, because our heart is a lot smarter than our brain. Our brain, it's only one brain. We have a whole second nervous system that has truth in it. And so it's not about going from our mind. Our mind was designed to protect us. Our mind was designed to, like, if something happens, we're going to die. So all the fears that we have in our life is just programming. It's like, if I do this, I'm going to die. And that's what our mind thinks. But that's not what's true. Like, we're coming into a different state of consciousness where we're not going to die. We get to create the life we're going to live in. And so much of the world right now is in survival mode. So if you're here surviving, yes, if you're here surviving, like, you're not taking care. If we think about Maslow's hierarchy, it's the first foundation is survival. It's your basic needs. Sex is a need. It's procreation. It's something that we need on this planet. If you're not having sex, if you're not getting food, if you don't have water, if you don't have shelter, if your basic needs, if you're not meeting those basic needs, you're in survival mode. And so anything else doesn't matter. And then he has his next steps. I think about it on this because I don't remember all of Maslow's. I just know the foundation. Then the top is self-actualization. That's enlightenment. And so with our chakra systems, they're kind of clues as well. And so our root chakra is all that foundation, is that survival, that's that security. Your sacral is your creativity. It's your sex. It's your ability to create something new and be creative. Our third chakra is our identity. It's who we are. It's your power center. Your heart is at the center of everything. And so your heart is what is your communication. It's your heart. And in your throat is the ability for all this energy to speak through you so that you can voice it out. Because by speaking it, if we think about Genesis, and what was the first thing that God said? He said something. It's let there be light. And it's the spoken word that created. And so that's why being conscious of how clear you are with the words that you speak is so important. And it goes both ways. So being clear with the positive, inviting positive, and being like, you choosing, like, the language that you choose to use will manifest your environment, will manifest your reality. Can you get rabies from a turtle bite? I don't know. You should probably look into that, Oberly. Yeah. Oh my God. That was a great callback to your original point. Yeah, I know.
We were talking about that. Okay. So what are we talking about right now?
I don't even know.
Oh my God.
Channeling. So you guys are going to have to.
Sorry. I was talking to an old,
Aaron, you have a fan.
Yeah. We are having fun. No, we're all having fun. Okay.
Right.
So, are we talking about communication?
We're talking about being clear about, it's communication, being clear.
Yeah, it's also about realizing, too, like, what the people around you are going through. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're not able to be clear because they're not feeling clear, but their energy is exuding what they feel, right? So within that... and so it's like, but sometimes it's not easy to be open, honest when you're not really sure what you're feeling. And I think that's part of, like, what goes on within us, is that we don't know what we're feeling. When you say you feel anxious, what does that actually mean to you? Because to me, when someone says they're anxious, it's like,
if you're not open, it's a guilty conscious.
Not necessarily. Like, well, this is my point, is that if you're feeling anxious, to me, it's like, I don't really understand what anxious actually means as a feeling. Where is that feeling in your body? Like, is it feeling in your power source, in your solar plexus? Is your heart feeling heavy? Like, what is that feeling inside of you that's making you feel that, like, sort of stress or anxious feeling?
Your heart.
Right? Okay, so maybe it's your heart, but maybe it's somebody else's, solar plexus. So it's like, for that individual, it's like, where is it in your body? And is it a sadness? Is it anger? Is it frustration? Mm-hmm. Like, what is the depth of that anxiety? So it's asking yourself those deeper questions of, like, what is it that I'm feeling right now, and where does that come from? And being aware that sometimes when people are saying, oh, I'm just feeling stressed, I'm feeling anxiety, they're all over the place. They're not grounded, and they're not feeling at all what they want to say. And so sometimes they come off in a way that they're not meaning to, because they don't really know what they're feeling. You do. Where is it?
Stimulated in the mind, fear in the heart, and courage in solar plexus. Anxious. Interesting. I wish I could capture that. Actually, wait, hold on. Stay. Yes. Queen.
That was great. That is awesome. Yes, that's totally what it is. And sometimes it can be in different, it's like just depends on if you are holding that really grief or frustration or anger, I guess, depending on where it would be. But that was great. Yes, that's totally exciting.
There's so many different explanations of what it is.
Great.
So when we're clear about our feeling, then we're able to communicate.
What are you not saying overly?
Yeah.
That's perfect for you.
This is why we need 24 hour 20.
Yeah, we're going to.
I feel tight in neck.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it on the left side or the right side?
Right, there you go.
And is it on the back of your neck or in the front of your neck? And do you feel like you're being choked? There's just so many things that we've discovered. Left, back, female. So there's a pain in there's a female that's a pain in your neck. Little to no breath also. Okay, so you're not saying something. So you're withholding information. And it's like you're not feeling like you can't say it. So why do you feel like you can't say it? Your wife.
Well, maybe you guys need to speak about something in communication.
Right. Or my girlfriend. Oh, damn.
Well, that could be the
for
issue.
protection. For protection.
Yeah, of course. A lot of times we aren't, and sometimes you know what we're saying, but maybe it is protecting yourself. So what are you protecting yourself from, and why do you feel like you need to be protected? Like, why aren't you free to be you? Like, what makes you feel like you can't express yourselves?
Right. And we've had this.
Oh, totally.
Right.
Oh, my God. I'm guilty. Guilty.
Energy sucked. Energy sucked?
Like your energy is it feels like your energy is being sucked?
Who wants a reading?
Okay,
The cards,
okay.
let's see.
They're
Or we
being called.
I think it's a collective.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Yeah,
Who are you?
Okay, so it feels like your energy is getting sucked.
I find it ironic when some people are stressed, they subconsciously cover their third eye and crown. Oh my gosh! Yes. Wait.
That's
Alion.
Oh, Alion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, see, even the dog's excited about that. Alion. Money.
Yeah.
Hey,
you're right. Absolutely. People don't want to see because
over.
we've been in survival. You know, our brain is trying to protect us, and so we've been living in this. A lion. Okay, what's your actual name? Because we see you all the time. We want to know you. Making dog mad. Oh, she's excited.
No. She just feels our energy, our vibration's so high. We get excited. She gets excited.
Yeah,
it happens all the time. We were actually talking about that last night. Were you guys on Scope last night? It was so fun.
Kit. Hey,
nice.
Kit.
Hey, Kit.
Okay.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Kit. What up?
Yeah.
You're awesome.
We love you.
Yeah. So what I was kind of getting to a second ago that I really wanted to get to, because this is like a really good point. Yeah. So is that I was actually dealing with a client with this the other day, and people go through all of this stuff. Love you. And there was a situation with a couple where the guy was getting in some trouble, basically, at a time where she was going through some stuff herself. And it didn't seem like the right time for all of that to be happening, and a lot of her family was against her husband on this. And the idea of being against your spouse is maybe in that conversation for yourself is, why did I make that plan to be there and stick there for them? And the wife in this situation is sticking to her man. And she's sticking to the person that she knows, and she's supporting him through his hard time. And she's seeing the pain he has inside of him instead of the problem at hand that people may have a view or a vision about. And she's choosing to see his pain and see that he's going through something, and that he's not feeling secure and grounded in his world. And she understands that he would feel that way. And she's going to support him through everything. Yeah. And that's what we need to do as a spouse. And then you know what else she saw? She's like, and sometimes I'm a nag. And he's already feeling that way, and she's able to call, not only recognizing his pain, but calling herself out for even creating more of it sometimes, because she's feeling his insecurity, and she's taking it on for her own, and she's able to realize that, Right. And so if we're all able to see that compassion for each other, it's like then you see it within yourself and for others. And in that situation, there's a loving synergy that's happening, and everyone's getting the support that they need because we're all just that inner child. And we all just want to be loved. When you're angry and frustrated and grieving, like think about a child when they feel that way. What do they want? They want a hug. They want to be told it's okay. So that's all we really want, even as adults. Like that's that place that we're not allowed to be vulnerable. We're not allowed to say that we have pain. And we should be able to say, like, I'm feeling vulnerable right now. I'm feeling like that little 5-year-old kid that, like, you know, dropped my ice cream in the sand and I'm upset about it. So I need a hug. You know, and like sometimes we feel that way, and sometimes we feel that way and we act out, and as adults we act out in ways of like yelling or causing attitude or drinking alcohol or doing drugs or, you know, lying or whatever those things are in adulthood, and that's not really the way we want to come off. It's just because we're feeling vulnerable and we don't know how to say I feel shitty right now and I need help. And so I think if we can create that sort of love and create a compliment instead of nagging or stressing when you're feeling that inside, find the one bright light that you can say to your spouse or your sister or your best friend or the people in your lives to be like, you know, you're really great. Like the fact that you like run your life the way that you do and the good mom that you are, and like the fact that you like bring snacks to the kids, or like the fact that, you know, you work so hard until you're blue in the face and still have time to, you know, buy the guy's coffee behind you in line. And, you know, it's like find the good things in those people, even though there may not be feeling like there is in that moment, and see what it feels like to give a compliment and what that happens to that person that maybe just will change their world.
And then feel how you feel when you give that compliment, because that's just as important. It's like how good do you feel when you tell somebody how amazing they are and then they receive it. You guys are beautiful. Have a wonderful night. Aw, thanks.
You too. Family.link.
Yeah. So I pulled a card, if you want to stay for the card. It was the Ancient, right? And it's about elder experience and lessons. And so hopefully this helps you. And I pulled it all for you guys. Just the energy of the collective. And it's...
Yay.
So the Ancient is so old, she is almost beyond time. She is able to speak the truth without compromise, as are you. When this comes to you, she is so old, has experienced so much, learned and taught so many lessons that she has become powerful and influential, just as you are becoming too. So too are you growing older, coming into wisdom. She knows that while others are now going to come to you for advice and guidance, she sees your humanity, your faults and your flaws and your feelings of unworthiness. She wishes to assure you, others will come to you seeking knowledge, awaiting a blessing, an initiation, and oblivious to the consequences of the path they wish to walk. Wisdom, true wisdom, understands complexity, and you have developed this quality. The Ancient is honorable and human, and yet more than human, and she is courageous and has made sacrifices, as have you. She sees straight through comforting illusions as you do. She represents ancient tradition and the challenge of defining the self, yet remaining within a tradition that you value. And this too is one of your challenges. So take responsibility in your life. You will face the battle of choice, and you will be the antidote to gurus and dominant personalities who claim to have all answers. The Ancient recognizes the challenge of being a teacher, the immersion in a world to learn the ancient arts and venerate wisdom and old ways can be expressed in many forms, but everything you are now learning has value. She is the repository for ancient secrets and the contract between worlds. She is wise, and she has learned to consider every word that falls from her lips, even as she longs to call out for freedom.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude.
Do you want to wrap that one up?
I mean, I don't know if we need to, right?
So
go ahead.
So, this is World Tribe.
Right. This is the World Tribe. Like this, I mean, yeah, do we need to? Like, thank you. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like, this is, I'm like, do we need to wrap it up? Like, it's a tribe. Like, it's bringing it all together. It's all of us showing the love for the earth and being here and bringing that. And thank you guys for coming on here tonight. We've been talking long enough. Thank you for joining us. Check us out at, you're the best. Anytime.
9 o'clock.
And we will be here every day at 9. Check us out. Check us out on Facebook, family.link. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.